Hello, I'm Mahdi Abedi and today I'm here to talk about daily life shortcut keys. By request of Kaushik, so I decided to do it. In this game we have three types of keys. First one is keyboard controls, second one is joystick, and third one is mouse. So as I have a joystick and mouse and I don't use them, I just added some basic keys there so you can check it out yourself. But about keyboard, I will now go to the game and we'll do it but I'm here with a different TTS, else than eloquence, and with e-speak. Alright, I will cover it by starting from grave accent. So grave accent does nothing. Shift grave accent will show us the zones that we can track in each map. Alt grave accent is for script keys. Alt plus grave until equals, it means grave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0 dash minus. These are script keys. So a script key is something like that. We can say that, for example, if I type meow, say a cat sound, or when I type THISS, this, say this. I mean this with just one S, or kind of like that. To set it, you should go to settings menu and press add alias. Then you should add it there. Alright, one. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are for combo mode. These uses certain combo actions, for example punch, kick, grab, slam, and throw, and other things. So let me just alright, it's muted at the same time. Alright, now shift 1, left fist. So this is our left fist. Shift 2, this is our right fist. Shift 3, left foot. This is our left foot. Shift 4, this is right foot. Shift 5, 6, 7, and others. So it does nothing. Alt 1 and others are for script keys. Then we should go to 0. So when we press 0 and minus, these are for some messages. For example, one of them is for team messages or team voice messaging, and the other one is for partner voice messaging, which you can send a message to your partner. Equals will just work like that. For example, here if you type PM Mahdi hello, it will PM me. But here you don't need to type any slash. It means a typing command with not any slashes. So if we press shift 0, it's for sending a TTS message, but it's kind of like a private TTS message. Let me see if yeah. So in here we have a private TTS message and a team TTS message, which you can do by pressing shift 0 and shift minus. I even will confused as we have so many keys. Alright, shift equals do nothing. Let me check F. So F1 until F12. No, I will do it at the end. Alright, tab and shift tab will work on cycle inventory. This inventory is an inventory that there you can use weapons, woods, bricks, and metals, and concretes to give health to your house. This is to do things faster. Q and E will will turn 45 degrees. Shift and Q and Shift E will turn 90 degrees. Alt Q and Alt E will turn 180 degrees. Alt Shift Q, Alt Shift E. So Alt Shift Q and Alt Shift E will turn 1 degree by 1 degree. Let me just wait for this. Alright. Alright, W will say that the person who you've tracked is where he's located. Or better to say, it will say the location of the person that you've tracked. Shift W is for weather, and Alt W does nothing. R reloads a weapon. For example, yeah. So by pressing R you can reload. By pressing Shift R you can unload the weapon. And by pressing Alt R you can sit down and stand up. By pressing T you can clap. Shift T. It will show the time that you're in a public, private, or challenge rap, or in a marathon. Alt T will snap. By pressing Y you can move between the using sections. Now where you're using items, you can just draw items in your hands, and by pressing space you can use them. But when you're using yourself, by pressing space you can jump. Alright, Shift Y and Alt Y does nothing. Pressing U you can see your hunger stat. 362 hunger. I'm lazy to check my NVIDIA language anyways. And Shift U will tell you that if you are full. And Alt U will tell you that if you are drunk. Alright. Then by pressing I, you can open your inventory. Inside your inventory, by pressing left and right arrows, you can draw items into your hands. By pressing up and down arrow, you can move between items, and by pressing tab and shift tab, you can change between the inventory categories. By pressing escape, you can close the inventory. By pressing shift I, you can drop your inventory. And Alt I does nothing. When you've dropped your inventory by pressing shift I, you can just pick it up by pressing enter. By pressing O, you can toggle using sonar, which if sonar is on, you can know that when you've chased a wall. I will cover this one now. For example, I will build a wall here. It means that we are chasing or facing nothing, just there's nothing here. This is all the air above us. But if I build a tile, for example, alright, I've built a tile. Let me see. Alright. It was in up facing. I will explain that later. By pressing Shift O and Alt O, it does nothing. It's only O toggle sonar. By pressing P, we can see who's near us. By pressing left and right bracket, you can switch between buffer categories. By pressing enter, you can pick up items, use doors, and use your locker, store, and other things. By pressing A, we can see what's around us. There's nothing. By pressing Shift A, we can track the animal which is around us. And by pressing Alt A, we can see how much air we have, which means that when you're underwater, you're using your gas mask. So before you go to underwater, you should use some air canisters to have some ways to breathe. By pressing S, you can see you're thirsty. Shift S will tell you your sickness. Alt S does nothing. By pressing D, it shows you how much percent you're dirty and how much you're wet. By pressing Shift D, it's for admin chats. Yeah, one of them is Shift D and Alt D. One of them is for admins to chat, and one of them is for LCMs to chat, language channel managers who manages any language. By pressing F, you can see facing. Shift F and Shift V will change your head direction. You can face up, down, or straight. It's useful for firing. Alt F does nothing. By holding or pressing G, you can use your camera. So when you hold G by pressing left, right, down, and up arrows, page down and page up, you can see and move the camera around. By pressing M when you're holding G, you can enable and disable MFWC, which if it's enabled, you can move with the camera and you will hear it sound completely without any losses. And here by pressing D, you can check at where your camera is. By holding, by just releasing the G key, you can just stop camera and it will be turned off. So you should hold G again to walk with it. But this today I'm gonna just introduce a new feature which we will have in version 1.96, which was suggested by Tima. By pressing Shift G, we can go to camera mode 2, and again by pressing it we can switch back. When we are in camera mode 2, we don't need to just hold G all the time. Unless we are on this mode, we can just press arrows or M or D or even T to play the tile that we are there without any holdings. So for example, I just did it and I can move with camera. Look, my hand is not in G, but I can move with it until I come to camera mode 1. Okay, by pressing H, there's your health. Okay, Shift H is health menu, and just you can, for example, I press enter here. Username and enter test. Yes, it works like this. And by pressing G, you can see your energy. Shift G and Alt G. So these are the selections that when the sonar is on, when it's up facing, it will show you the your height, for example, what is above. So if it's side sonar, now it's silent. But when it's like this, it means that a wall is in front of you. For example, I'm here, so the wall is in front of me. Okay, so wait, if you want to check that what is in front of you, you should select the side sonar when the sonar is on by pressing Shift J. By pressing K, you can see which tiles can be a trackable tiles which you can track them. And okay, by pressing L you can see your level. By pressing Shift L you can see your experience. Alt L it works like this. By pressing semicolon, this is a social menu which by pressing enter you can play these sounds for those who are around you. And by pressing backslash you can just type a local chat. Yes, and I was testing some things. By pressing Z you can see that the weapon that you're using, how much ammo it needs and how much it has. By pressing Shift Z it will just walk between or move between the zone types, and by pressing Alt Z you can see where you are. By pressing X you can toggle auto walking, which will just, if the auto walking disabled, if you hold any arrows, for example up, down, or left and right, then it won't do anything, just you should press them. But if auto walking is enabled, if you hold any arrows it will work. Also you can press them. Alright, Shift X will set a status message, and Alt X does nothing. C checks the coordinate. Let me remove the wall that I did. And Alt C will just show that which clothes are you wearing. V will send a voice message. For example, if I hold V, it's respectively that. You can also do something that in options menu, if you press wait will voice message, or I will now release V. You can also do something that in options menu, if you press wait will voice message, or I will now release V. Yeah. I told you what Shift V is for. Alt V is to search in cycle inventory. For example, I will search no GRE. It will show me grenade. By pressing B, builder menu will open for map building. By pressing Shift B, buffer menu will open, which you can do some actions like copying and buffer, replying to a chat, and etc. And by pressing Alt B you can see that if your bones are okay or not. You can see your bone status. By pressing N you can see that which items you can track. And here. Alright, I'm now. Alright, by pressing N again, no. Alright. So, by pressing N you can see the objects and items which are near you. If you've tracked them, it's like W. By pressing Shift M you can see the tile which you have tracked previously. And by pressing Alt N you can see the zone that you've tracked previously. By pressing M you can see which items are near you. Nothing is near me. And by Shift M also you can see which items are near you, but it won't be loaded as a menu. By pressing Alt M you'll do a manager chat, it's for managers. By pressing dot also we have a week of chance. I didn't just point it that. I will just tell you in the end of the video, so please watch out till the end. Alright, by pressing comma and dot you can walk in a buffer to see messages. Alright, and by pressing Shift dot and Shift comma, also Shift left bracket and right bracket, you can just go to first and last buffer of an item, or if it's Shift shift plus left brace and right brace, or left bracket and right bracket, it will be just you can go to first and last buffer category. By pressing slash, you can type your message in chat. For example, I will say hi. By pressing shift slash, it will not do nothing. By pressing alt slash, it will do a TTS message like free that you could just voice message. Oof, I'm doing it finally. Alright, by pressing control, you can fire weapons. By pressing left, right, up, down. Ow. Alright, by pressing left, right, up, down, page up, page down, those with arrows, you can just move in the game. By pressing insert, shift, insert, let me see. No, not that. Which was? Let me see. No matters. Alright, by pressing home and end, by pressing home and end, you can decrease the game volume. By pressing shift home and shift end, you can decrease the music volume. By pressing alt page up and page down, you can increase the volume of links which are being played. By pressing alt page up and down. By pressing shift left, right, up, down arrow, page up and page down, you can see what's near you. That's a spy glass or a spy camera, which will do the action for you. And now, going to the F sections. Alright, by pressing escape, you can exit from a menu or from the game. By pressing F1, you can see how much people are online. By pressing shift F1, it will do nothing. And alt F1 is to select a voice for TTS chatting. By pressing F2, we can see the server uptime. By pressing shift F2, we can enable and disable level sound. And by pressing alt F2, we can stop tracking if an item is being tracked. By pressing alt F1, if you're in the sound source menu, you can just pause and resume the sound that you are listening to. By pressing alt shift F1, you can just start it. Alright. By pressing alt shift F1, you can enable and disable input help, which is like NVDA. If you press any keys, it will tell you which key is it. By pressing F3, it will ping the server. By pressing shift F3, it will enable and disable the muting audio when the game is not in focus. And alt F3 will toggle that if it's disabled, like so it won't speak when the game is not in focus, but if it's enabled, it will talk. By pressing F4, you can see each channel's message of the day, and by pressing shift F4, it will be showed in a menu that you can just go up and down between lines, and by pressing enter, you can copy each line into the clipboard. Alt F4 will do nothing. F5 will just allow you to track who's in your map. Shift F5 will show all the players, the menu for them. F1 will copy the player name. F2 will send him a private message, and F3 will show his location. But this is just for when he's trusted you. F4 will show the language channel that the player is in, and F5 will show his status, such as this. Alright, and F6 will tell my level. F7 will look me. Yeah, I can look at myself. And F8 will say my status. By pressing F9 or holding F9 on me, you can send voice message to me or any player who you're in on his name. Also, Alt X will stop looking at the player. So to stop looking at a player, you can press Alt X. I forgot to tell you. Alright, then Alt F5 will bring us a nice option. Microphone options. By pressing tab, we can check the sample rate. So here we have channel, which can be mono, stereo, and yeah. For example, let me set it. I will put it on this 44,000 is something, okay? And it can be mono, but I set it as stereo. Alright, by pressing F6 you can go to language channels. By pressing enter you can select them. Here there are people which we can make their channels there, and this is a list. Shift F6 will Alright, and Alt F6 will toggle item sounds that when you're near an item it will beep or not. F7 is to send admin thoughts. Please don't send spam messages. Just if you need help or you have suggestions, you can send us by this method. Shift F7 will toggle if you receive private messages. Alt F7 will toggle scuff sounds. That if it's enabled, for example, sometimes has scuff sounds. F8 will toggle auto login, which if you press enter on DL.txt, it will be loaded automatically without going to main menu and stuff. This is the server stat. Alright, Shift F8 will show you the server stats. Alt F8 will toggle weapon pings, which if it's enabled, it will just play a beep sound when you shoot a target. F9 will toggle beacons, which if it's enabled, you will hear a little beep sound when a player is near you. By pressing Shift F9, it's lower pitch. That if it's disabled, it will be exited normally, but if it's enabled, for example, if I'm talking like this, if someone exits from the game by my side, it will be like this. The pitch of the sound will be changed, and let me see what happened. Just Alt F9 does nothing, or at least I don't remember. F10 will just toggle reading chats. Shift F10 will toggle reading messages, and Alt F10 will toggle JAWS support. F11 it's for online and offline messages. And like me, Alt Shift F11 or Shift F11 is for settings. F12 will copy. Yeah, will copy the thing that your GTS set in the game. And I can't believe that it's done. Oh, I finally did it. I'm too thirsty because I just talked for over 40 minutes, and I'm not sure, but I think I already explained everything. If you think I missed anything, please let me know. Yeah, I'm a developer, but you know, these are too much, you know. Alright, this is enough. I just set the most keys, or at least all of them. I hope you liked it. My website is mahdiabedi.com, which there you can find my info and my projects, and my contact info and such things. please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you didn't. Like the video, share it with your friends, and post your comment below. Also, please send me suggestions or better say that, please send me which videos you like to see from me, because just have 2 or 3 weeks free time. It's like between the university semesters, so I can record whatever you need for you. So hope you like it, and see you in my next video. Goodbye for now.